we're continuing today with the Pools video game. Yesterday, I went to a morning viewing of BACKROOMS movie to the cinema. I feel satisfied, like really satisfied. It was a good experience. I feel satiated. I feel tended to. I felt, and I still feel today like it's a good movie. It did justice to some things. It was a movie, like not the usual Backrooms cinematic sort of YouTube experience and stuff. And it's not this what we'll be playing today, and it's not House of Leaves. It was like a movie, which I felt like needed pointing out. We'll talk a little bit more about it. But on that note, as usual, our little quote of the day, which is interesting that I should have remembered this book today for the stream. And our little quote of the day today will be actually by Søren Kierkegaard. Søren Kierkegaard, like in English we call him, who's like a Dutch theologian and philosopher of existentialism. And I kind of remembered his book today, and I remembered that quote. Interesting, I should remember it after watching Backrooms yesterday and now continuing on to playing Pools. And so our quote of the day today is: the greatest hazard of all, losing oneself, can occur very quietly in the world, as if it were nothing at all. No other loss can occur so quietly. Any other loss, an arm, a leg, $5, a wife, etc., is sure to be noticed. Søren Kierkegaard, The Sickness Unto Death. And with that, we can confidently transition into Pools. Yes? Yes. Yes. Everything is here. Yes, we're here. We're online. As you can see, we're 3 episodes in. We're in episode 4 today. Still, currently, my favorite episode is episode number 2. I think I will remember it. So, like a small recap, if anybody needs it. We woke up out of the blue in a sanatorium-esque sort of situation where we roam around, where there's nobody except for us, seemingly. We're not sure, but we're not meeting anybody. And so we wake up alone and we roam around, expectantly trying to find an exit. In the first episode, I feel like we were trying to find an exit in a like very like definitive and at the same time like a broad sense of things. In the second episode, I feel like we were starting to sort of understand that we can't really escape the situation in the way that we understand to. It's not all so cut and dry, and the environment seemed like to inspire us to continue on. It was definitely still denying us a proper exit. In episode 3, I feel like what I remembered most is striking the iron to cleanse it of impurities situation in the beginning, And so like in episode 3 we were sort of like facing things that were bothering us, and we were suggested to sort of meet them a little bit more head on. And eventually we arrive at episode number 4. Right? And so episode number 4 is where we'll be picking up in the games, in the Pools video game. After having watched yesterday the Backrooms movie, which I feel like did justice to this, and I'm kind of interested in where they will be taking it. Okay, enough yapping. Episode number 4, Pools video game. Let's do it. I'm being so dramatic when like literally nothing, not that nothing happens there, but it's a certain type of situation that we're working here with. The movie was, speaking of existentialism, and the quote you can see in the chat, the pinned message. I feel like it was kind of, hello, so dark. Oh, it seems like I need to remember the controls a little bit. I feel like the Backrooms movie is like really, it's kind of, in a way, it's like, yeah, I felt like, and I still probably feel like it's kind of like a meta-modernist piece. It's kind of, seems to be alluding to certain things, like, but I still in the end think it didn't overcommit. I think it did not, the Backrooms movie did not overcommit to anything specifically, and it kind of stayed true to it being a movie from the universe of Backrooms, which is, that's how I'll call it for for the purposes, of us being on the same page. I kind of loved the characters. I feel like all of the characters that were there. I feel like it was a good choice. There always could be more. Like maybe I would have wanted a little bit more interaction between the male and the female character. Maybe I would have wanted, the last character that they kind of bring into sort of the fold, like at the very end. I think they could have I think they could have brought him earlier, or like had more of him investing in the story. But like, I'm accepting the vision. I'm like, I feel, that they did what they did, and I'm sort of evaluating it based on my experience, which was that I had to take a stroll after the movie for like probably 30 minutes, and then to sit like another 30 minutes in a cafe having a sandwich, and then going to another cafe to have like a cup of coffee and sitting there for another like 40 minutes. So in a way, I think like the movie was successful in sort of delivering the Backrooms experience, which is this, delivering the. What is happening? Is it like rendering? No, because my yeah. The settings are the same. Well, Nothing to be done. Anyways, I feel like they delivered. Like the movie, the Backrooms movie delivered on its like effect of being like a true piece like of artistic work. That's all I can say, considering, you know, I was really like kind of in the zone after it a little bit more, and I needed sort of some time to digest it a little bit more, and to sort of exit sort of the zone and the atmosphere of the movie itself. It was a little bit, certain things were well, I'm assuming it's also like the intention. Certain things that were a little bit on the nose, I would say, especially from the realm of like psychotherapy. But you know, I'm also judging this as being a person who has done psychotherapy and who has read a lot of stuff just about human development and human development mostly, and trauma. So those things were a little bit on the nose for me in the movie, but I can, irrespective of whether, you know, it was a conscious choice of having it be as on the nose as it was, or like just not really caring about that, or like letting it be a little bit of everything, a little bit educational, a little bit on the nose, both things. I feel like it was still kind of fun. I'm also interested whether they did that to like be a little bit more legible to the general audience, but I'm not even sure that that non-fans, or like the percentage of the people who went to see the movie who have had no experience at all with either Backrooms or like Pools or House of Leaves, I think it's not that big. So in a way, I'm kind of not sure why they like took that not like approach, but took that decision to introduce sort of kind of just like a little bit from human development in terms of neurobiology, and human development in terms of psychology and the mind, and kind of like introducing it very like explaining it explicitly. Were they trying to do it like to link what's happened, to make it more legible to the general audience? I'm not sure. I could have maybe, because at the other parts of the movie, I felt like grateful that they did not over-explain. There was like a shot, and like nobody's commenting on anything. Just the next shot. It's kind of, it was self-explanatory, the inference, and sort of connecting the dots. That was probably what I expected. Other than this, a little bit of over-explaining with like, it wasn't therapy speak, but just like the canon of modern, like the crux of modern kind of dilemma of human development. Other than that, I feel like the movie did great with not over-explaining. That it was like it had respect for the viewer, that you are not a fucking fool and you can put two and two together and can sort of can either glean the story from visual language, or like, you know, have your own story, have your own experience if you don't necessarily, even if you couldn't even necessarily strictly follow everything that the piece was saying. So like that not over-explaining in the movie, I appreciated. Like I appreciated, I felt respected that I wasn't fucking dumb, and yes. that I wasn't fucking dumb, and that I could like kind of have my own experience of the thing, and that I could kind of follow along enough to be able to get what's going on. I also really loved like at the end in the credits, credits to all the sort of, I don't know, like all the people who like worked on the setting, sort of building, designing, decorating, planning, yada yada yada. So all of those people, I'm assuming, were there in the credits. That was great because that Backrooms sort of design and it's like everything about it was sort of like the kind of both like the energy and the backdrop and the antagonizing force and the guidance, and it was like many things at the same time, just like the space and the sound design and the montage, right? All right, sort of storytelling through the editing. So I had like I felt like grateful that I was, even though I haven't remembered any of the names, I was grateful that they were all in the credits. These people who designed and built and maintained the Backrooms themselves in the Backrooms movie. Just as I like really am interested, and I have a lot of, and I want to, but I have like respect when like musical artists indicate who was the sound engineer, who was the vocal engineer, who did the mixing, who did the mastering, for the LPs, for the digital edition. Like I want to know that, because as having also worked with music in the past, it's like the mixing, like the recording itself, the mixing and the mastering can just like make or break a song. Even if it's a song is like not that great, if the mixing and mastering like is like top notch, it'll just slap and be amazing, and you want to like spend more and more time. It will have more of a sort of effect on you. Anyway, so like that was cool. I would say. Sorry. And that I had appreciation of as well. The Backrooms was great. Like the just the design and the feel. It was so. It was like, I don't know. It was like truth in a way. In the sense that I don't know. It was. I don't want to say that it was like the open space office kind of like. Drab and sort of life sucking, because there were many elements in different Backrooms that were from the characters' childhoods, other people's childhoods, other people's current lives, past lives. Sort of the Backrooms it looked sort of like an office, open office hall, but it was also a home. It was also places of leisure. There were also pools there, right? There were like several scenes through pools. There was kitchen. So it was like, in all those things, they all felt like dead, like in a sense that like deadening. They were all like kind of ominous and soul sucking, even though they had like color and it had items, and it had like dynamo in certain places. It had like shifting and sort of merging and sort of maze-like qualities. It had danger and salvation at the same time. But generally, it kind of like their sort of look and feel, even though it was like either empty or cluttered. Just the general feel was kind of like a force of death, like in a sense that like a not death in a like a finality. It was like something I don't know. Yeah, like an abyss, like a void that just keeps sucking out life, you know. So that was I didn't really think about that like consciously while I was watching the movie, but I feel now like that was what the Backrooms was, even though at the same time it was sort of like a force of awakening. You know, the issue was that the other sort of question is like that the force of awakening was like raw and uncultured, and it kind of was just like a force of nature, just destroying things in its way, in a way. So it sort of it had potential for like evolution of sort of the one who becomes like I don't want to say like trapped in the back, but who's like called to that liminal space. But generally, it was like a sort of like a force of like, well, nihilism is not a good description, just like of annihilation. And the movie was also like kind of, it was both on like on an individual's level, also like on a collective level. Hello? Kind of exploring the unconscious and like the like collective unconscious. Sorry, like collective unconscious. Yeah. It was kind of it was doing a lot. Like, and I feel like they handled it they handled it. I don't want to say like really well or bad or good. Like they were able to handle it. There was like enough scaffolding for all of the like huge like topics. Like the Backrooms movie had like enough like scaffolding to be able to hold it. There were many questions. There were not a lot of answers. There were many energies like brought in, like sort of being aggregated like together into a cluster in the movie, and I felt like the sort of the editing, the set design, the acting, the script, the monologues, the dialogues, the performance. But generally, I would say the editing and yes, like the editing and the sort of interplay between the two main characters. It was enough to like to hold all of that. With that, of course, it was. I kind of knew it, like it was. I also, in a way, I'm kind of grateful that they did not provide any any immediate answers. Yeah, sorry, I was like talking so much. I wasn't really, because I also want to pay attention to this. You know, I don't want to just like walk around and like disrespect it, because this is way more. I would say that this is way more let's imagine that this is a section of the Backrooms that is way more like benevolent to us, you know, I don't know, the character that was brought here, like invited, and is currently being hosted by. Hello. By Flamingo. Is it true that they have that feather color because of their diet? And if we stopped feeding them, or sort of they don't have access to that diet anymore, do they lose the color, or do they not develop it? The flamingos. I'm curious. They're so beautiful though. Well, these ones as well, but the real life flamingos too. Kind of an interesting. Well, it's kind of like the up. Well, they're like contrasting colors, yeah, because they have the same temperature. Okay. I wonder if there will be other. Like the thing that I enjoyed most so far about the Pools video game is the moments where you approach certain like areas, and if you don't do anything, the camera kind of pans somewhere, and some sort of audio performance comes in. That's probably like what I've enjoyed like the most out of the episodes so far. Also, I was watching back, just like watching the previous stream back, and thinking that we definitely must be having some shoes on to have the sound come out, which I can appreciate, but I can just imagine walking and swimming while shoed, booted even maybe, booted up. Interesting. This sort of like turquoise, like turquoise malachite kind of color after the kind of the woody wooden like sections and the end piece of the previous episode, like the sauna and all that kind of like wood that both looked and felt like cork, kind of in an unpleasant way when I think about it. It felt like if you would like scratch it, it would have like an unpleasant, like poor sound. Interesting. Okay. We're going from turquoise to like golden reflections on the water, which are coming from what exactly? Unclear. Okay. Hello? Also, yesterday it had like there was an intense section of the movie. There was like intense cutting, and so energy was like mounting up, picking up, and like careening. And there was like going from the yellower sections of the backrooms, blasting into like sort of blasting. It was entering, but entering it felt like blasting into like more. Like the white sections, and then into like the actual pool like kind of like this situation. And it was interesting because here during the first episode, I was sort of thinking maybe it's there for just to provide some visual differentiation, yes, but also kind of like change up the mood, and so maybe that your kind of mind relaxes a little bit. I also felt like yesterday it was a sense of like consciousness, even though it's still in the unconscious, and well, in that section it was kind of messed up, but it feels like sections, pockets of consciousness, where it's more like there's more control, and it's a little bit more like quote unquote civilized. When sort of white tiles appear in this game, because I immediately feel like safer, which is kind of curious to note. Even though nobody's chasing us, there isn't any monsters or anything, but like, and it also becomes more quiet. Strangely, even though maybe it's also like an imaginative quality that like I'm assigning to it, but it kind of feels like that. Is this another like rewind? Yes. So like, am I over explaining? Like, I'm sorry if I'm like like I don't want to spoil anything, but we're playing the game. Like, to me it feels like sort of like the our protagonist sometimes wants the exit, and like wants it badly, or at the same time can like stumble into it just because of like life, or like being not careful enough. And I feel like the game sort of implies to us that no, this type of exit is not the exit that is allowed. Not from itself, but like in one's kind of like one's own life, I may be reading a little bit into this, but at the same time I think it's also one of the purposes of this game. You're kind of having like your own kind of like your own experience. You're sort of projecting yourself onto it and like beaming yourself back, which I like. So kind of interesting that between like my laptop and here and like the external monitor, the colors are a little bit different, and it's more like there's a yellower hue applied to the game by the external monitor. Kind of prefer a little bit like the max version of the color more. Also interesting. I have not been paying attention to where we turned, where we walked, what we did, so it's fine. I think we can explore a little bit more, and maybe at the same time I won't be rushing through it. Yeah, kind of like a little bit unsettling, this like cool, opaque purple color against like a little bit yellowish like water and tiles. And also the lights are sometimes like a little bit wider and sometimes a little bit more yellow. So it's like, is there an outside? Is there no outside? What is the lighting situation? Sometimes you hear the light, sometimes you don't. Like, as in a lamp or not. So that's kind of interesting. Okay. Did I mess something up? Come on. No? Damn it. I thought maybe we'd be getting like an interesting. It sounds like taut cardboard, but at the same time as like a like the thing you jump on as a kid in a backyard, which I never had, but I don't know how it's called properly, right? Like you're like bouncing on it like a child. It kind of sounds like that, even though we're looking at it and it's supposed to be tiles. Interesting. Yeah. Oh. We have instead of a diving board, sort of a diving path. I don't know what the technical term for this would be. Again, into the abyss, but like in the first episode, we were sort of allowed to board the diving board twice, in a way. And here we're sort of not allowed to do that, or maybe we will end up there, but like, oh, sorry, maybe we are allowed to get there, we just don't know yet. But either way, unless this is the transition to the next level, either way the game like doesn't allow us to just jump off to somewhere and be done with it. Also interesting that in the first episode we have like a shaft with like lights and many exits that seem like we could be exiting from each one of them. And this one is like windows. And it's, even though it's an abyss, it's like there's just several levels, and it doesn't seem as like infinite and unmanageable. Interesting. Where did we came from there? Let's go. No, I liked that bigger. It almost feels like it's made up because of the sound. The sound like it's not real, like kind of like play pretend. Oh, hello. Yes, we're like kind of more on the solid ground than the previous section. Yeah, I'm assuming. What am I assuming? Interesting. Can we go to the? Do we open the doors? No. So it's all kind of like we're being played with. Nothing here. No. Yeah, kind of when you like enter the white tile areas, it registers safer, which is interesting because daylight isn't really like white. It's more of a like man-made light. Maybe that's why it's being perceived as like safer, quote unquote, like because it feels more like civilized, quote unquote, right? Oh, we are allowed to sort of to try our not our luck, because we kind of know what will happen. But here it's kind of, it was very intimate in like the first episode. It was very intimate. We were like alone. It was dark. It felt like underground in a way, that we were underground and we were jumping further into like underground, into like the embrace of the Earth's abyss, you know. Here it feels a little bit more critical. There's a huge light over us. It's like a civilized, even though that was like just tiled like exits and like lamps, but it felt like natural-esque. And this feels more like you know, we are being we are being judged, but like we are being observed. We're not like alone doing that. Sorry. Yeah. My Twitch crashed for a second a little bit. I had to recheck that everything worked fine. Yes. And so, yeah. It feels like we have audience here. We have like audience for this. Yes, and even though like last time we were sort of allowed to do that, to like get to the next level, this time it's we're being told no.